The answer to the question which method is more or most accurate to use among forecasting methods depends on their respective MAD or MAPD values. So the lower the MAD or MAPD, the higher the accuracy and vice versa. Yes, hello everyone. So welcome back to our discussion, and for this discussion, we're going to have our last subtopic under our forecasting, and this is all about forecast accuracy. Now, in this topic, we will going to measure how accurate our forecast is. Now, given our previous different forecasting models, gaano ba kaganda or gaano ba ka-accurate si moving averages, how accurate is the weighted moving averages, how accurate is the exponential smoothing, and so on and so forth. If we are into forecasting, para malaman po natin kung ano yung best forecasting model na gagamitin natin for that data. Okay? And specifically, this topic will have the specific mean absolute deviation, the forecast accuracy number 1 natin na aralin, and the second one will be all about the mean absolute percent deviation. So these are the MAD and the MAPD. Okay, so let's start our discussion regarding this forecast accuracy. Okay, so when we say forecast accuracy, basically again we have the MAD or the mean absolute deviation, and the second one is the mean absolute percent deviation or the MAPD. So this is our two forecast accuracy that we will going to learn in this discussion. So for the first one, we have the mean absolute deviation. When we say mean absolute deviation, guys, this is one of the metric to measure how accurate our forecast is. Now, MAD or mean absolute deviation, how to compute MAD? Based on this formula, MAD is equivalent to the summation of the difference of the F minus A. F here stands for the forecast, while A here stands for the actual value or the actual data. So the difference between these two, absolute value of that, over N. Okay, and that is our mean absolute deviation. Okay, now, what we are going to do now is the steps. So basically, this formula just says that we should get the deviation, and when we say deviation, this is the difference. Okay, now guys, when we say deviation, when we say error, those two things are just the same. Okay, it says here na si deviation nga is tinatawag din siyang forecast error. So, it is just the same. Yung iba kasi nalilito, ano ba yung deviation? Ano ba yung variance? Ano ba yung difference? Ano ba yung forecast error? Pare-pareho lang po yun. Okay? Number 2, make the difference or the absolute. Okay? Kaya tayo meron ditong absolute value. So, meaning, hindi tayo dapat magkaroon ng negative. Our answer here should always be a positive. Okay? Now, get the mean or average of those absolute values. So, basically, guys, para if ever na hindi nyo maalala si formula, para maalala nyo po, mean absolute deviation, nandoon na po mismo sa pangalan niya yung formula. Una, kunin mo yung deviation. Kapag nakuha mo yung deviation, i-absolute value mo sila. Kapag nakuha mo yung absolute value, kunin mo yung mean nila, i-average mo sila. That's it. Okay? That is how basic it is, this mean absolute deviation. So, for you to be able to grasp the knowledge on how to compute the mean absolute deviation, I have here a prepared Microsoft Excel. Let's try to compute the mean absolute deviation of all our forecasting models before on our previous topics. Isa-isahin natin sila, okay? Okay, so here we are on our Microsoft Excel. I have here already prepared the template para sa ating magiging computation. Okay, so we have the moving average, weighted moving average, all of the forecasting method that we have tried before that we on our previous discussions. And these computations, all of this is for only the MAD. So we will have another set no na halos kapareho po nito for the computation naman ng ating second forecast accuracy. Okay, now let's start with the moving average. So check natin our data, our file before. So we have here the moving average, the computed. Now, as you can see, since this is a moving average, meron tayong mga months na wala po tayong data. Okay? And if we were going to check the formula for the mean absolute deviation, we need to find first the deviation or the difference between the actual and the forecast. Now, how can we check or can we compute for the difference of the actual and forecast if we don't have our forecast here? Okay, so moving average. Therefore, what I wanted to say is that from April up to December lang po ang kukunin natin na data for the month, sales, actual sales, and the forecast. Hindi po kasama si January, February, and si March. Okay, so let's copy this and paste natin doon sa ating template. Paste values. Okay, now we have this set of values. Lagyan natin sila ng borders. So, again, no, the formula says, meron tayong formula dito, nilagay ko siya, no? Summation of F minus A, absolute value sa loob, over N. So, forecast, okay, so forecast minus our actual. And i-absolute value natin. Actually, we have the absolute value here on Excel, ABS, no, and just enclose them into open and close parentheses. So, ito siya, ayan. Oops. ABS. Ano ba? Ito, click niyo yung function, then forecast minus actual. So, ito, no, 13.33 minus 16, so that is negative. Pero once na-enter natin, magiging automatically positive siya dahil ginawa niya na agad yung absolute value, no, in absolute nila. And drag this up to December. So, meron na tayong F minus 80. Now, what we're going to do now is to sum it all and, of course, divided by N. Or basically, average. Okay? So, dito natin ilagay. No, we just have to find the average of this. Okay? So, 3.52. Meaning to say, the MAD or the mean absolute deviation of our forecast using moving average as our forecasting model is 3.52. Okay? Now, let's go now to the weighted moving average. Let's check kung ano naman ang itsura ng kanyang data. Almost the same with our moving average before, guys. As you can see, we don't have any forecast for the month of January, February, and the March. So, meaning to say, just like the moving average, just highlight all the data from April to December, excluding the January to March. And copy-paste natin dito the actual values. And of course, ayan, yung ating borders. Again, absolute value muna. Click nyo, no? Forecast minus actual. And copy this. Drag up to the December. Then get the average. Dito ko nilalagay sa taas ang ating final answers, ha? Para madali tayong mag-compare later. So, average. Okay. Therefore, for the weighted moving average, we have a mean absolute deviation of 3.37. So, next for the exponential smoothing. Now, for the exponential smoothing, we have here values from January to December for the actual sales and the forecast. Now, we have fraction of error, no? We don't need this para sa ating data. So, monthly sales lang, actual sales and the forecast. I-copy muna natin itong actual sales. Okay, so paste values. Okay, now for the forecast, balik tayo sa exponential smoothing. Copy and paste din ito. And paste for the values. Okay, now, for the exponential smoothing, guys, deviation, same po ng ating formula sa weighted moving average. So, let's have the absolute value of the difference of our forecast and the actual. Copy and paste up to the December. Okay, now, as you can see, we have deviation here na nag-zero. Bakit siya nag-zero? Dahil si actual is 8 and si forecast is also 8. Okay? Bakit po naging ganun? Kung babalikan natin yung computation natin with our exponential smoothing before, pinareho po natin ang ating forecast sa ating sales, actual sales, dahil wala pa tayong basis dito na historical, dahil ang pinakaunang month is just the January. We don't have the data for the December last year dito. Kaya ang nangyari, yung fraction of error niya is actually 0. Okay, now, kung ganun po, no, since wala tayong deviation, sabi kasi mean absolute deviation. How can you have the absolute value if wala tayong deviation? Or rather, how can you have the mean of the set of data if meron tayong isang month na walang deviation? Ang kinukuha niya lang po kasi nitong mean absolute deviation is kung gaano naglalaro yung data from the mean. Okay? Now, statistically speaking, ganun siya. Pero po, kung tignan ninyo, hindi dapat natin siyang isama sa computation ng ating average dahil it can have an effect sa kabuuan ng ating mean absolute deviation na value, computed value. Therefore, what we're going to do now is to find for the average from February up to December only. Okay? Dahil kasi nag-zero siya. Okay? And that means na for the exponential smoothing, we have 3.32. Okay? So, that is for the exponential smoothing. And next natin, we have exponential smoothing with trend. Okay, so let's get the data dito sa exponential smoothing with trend. Month, okay, sales, actual, copy and paste. These special values for the forecast, exponential smoothing with trend, forecast with trend. This is our final, right? The 8 up to 28.44 something. So, copy and paste natin dito. Okay? Now, guys, lagay tayo ng ating mga grid, mga borders. So, for the deviation, pareho lang po, no? We have here the absolute value of the difference of our forecast and the actual. Now, as you can see, this is same case with our exponential smoothing. May 0 po dito, therefore, ang i-average lang natin is only the February up to the December. Okay? Meaning to say, we have 3.98 mod for the exponential smoothing with trend. Ayun yung kanyang difference. Now, check natin. Next na tayo, we have trend projection for the color green for our 5th forecasting model. So, we have here trend projection. But as you can see, guys, this trend projection, ang project po natin dito is yung magiging sales sa second year, right? I hope you still remember. Ang project natin dyan is yung magiging sales next year. Ito po, no? Itong straight line na yan, linear. Now, if you go back sa ating formula, we need to find the difference of the forecast and actual. And since ang project natin using trend projection is only, yung numbers na meron tayo dito is only a projection or the forecast, we don't have any actual sales. Therefore, hindi po natin pwedeng ma-compute yung MAD niya, the mean absolute deviation niya, since we don't have any value for the actual sales. So, i-note na lang natin dito, no actual sales value for next year. So, if ever na meron tayo, pwede natin siyang isama, pero yun nga, no, wala tayong actual values kasi na given, kaya we don't, we can't, we can compute for the MAD ng ating trend projection. Now, let's see for the trend projection with seasonal variation. This trend projection with seasonal variation may ups and downs dahil meron tayong natawag na seasonal index. But, as you can see, ito pong projection na yan for the third year. We have here yung last year, this year, and forecast for the next year, right? So, again, this is just a forecast. Wala po tayong actual value. I hope you still remember this topic. So, meaning, pareho siya dito sa trend projection. Hindi natin makukuha yung kanilang MAD. Now, for trend projection with CMA naman, or the centered moving average, actually, the forecast here is almost the same with seasonal variation. Pero dito po, is naka-centered moving average siya. And yun nga, this is just a forecast. This 9.47 up to 32.95. Hindi pa po ito yung actual values. Therefore, we can also apply this forecast accuracy, MAD, dito sa ating trend projection with CMA. Now, okay na yan, no? Sa 4 lang po tayo makakapag-compare. Pero if ever na itong mga tatlong ito nag-o-occur na yung mga actual sales, pwede na po tayo, no? Pwede na natin siyang ikumpara sa isa't isa. Then, for the next year or the next forecasting na gagawin natin, pwede na tayo mag-base doon sa difference nitong 7 kung sino man yung pinakamababa. The idea here po, no, sa mean absolute deviation is that kung sino yung pinakamababang value, siya yung pinaka-accurate. Meaning, yung difference niya doon sa actual ng mga nagiging forecast natin, difference doon sa actual, is maliit lang. No? Halos pareho or malapit. So, therefore, check natin, no? Moving average 3.52, weighted moving average 3.37. Wow, lower. Yes, ito siya so far. Exponential smoothing 3.83. No. Exponential smoothing with trend 3.98. Therefore, ang pipiliin po natin this time na mean absolute deviation is the weighted moving average with 3.37 mean absolute deviation. So, let's write it here. Weighted moving average. And ang kanyang MAD is most accurate forecasting method, weighted moving average with MAD equals 3.37. Okay, so that's it. No, gawin natin itong ano ba? Smaller na lang, no? Smaller na font para magkasya. Ayun. 12 kaya. 12. Okay, so meaning, no, dito po sa 4 na yan, best si weighted moving average na gamitin natin. But still, it depends on the weight. Again, I hope nalala nyo ba, nagbigay tayo ng mga weights dito like 3, 2, 1. If ever na babaguhin natin yun, it can also have an effect sa mean absolute deviation. Okay? So, let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation. That is for the mean absolute deviation, guys. Now, let's go sa ating second forecast accuracy, which is the mean absolute percent deviation. Now, this mean absolute percent deviation is another metric used for forecast accuracy, also known as mean absolute percent error or MAPE. Now, if you see a formula in the internet like MAPD and the MAPE, it is just the same po. No, naka-percent lang ito. How to compute MAPD? So, we have here the formula. So, M or MAPD or MAPE is equals to the 1 over N multiplied to the summation from 1 to N. T equals 1. T means the time. So, in our case, our time is per month. Pwede ko kasi ito i-apply if per day or per hour or per week. Pwede po yan. In our case na per month lang tayo. So, from 1 to N. And the summation nun is absolute value of our A minus F. No? A ng time minus F of the time over A. Again, A sub E stands for the actual data or actual sales natin over time. And the F here is the forecast. So, basically, the formula is just saying that we should get the deviation first, just like the mean absolute deviation before or the MAD. Meaning, we have to get the individual difference between the forecast value and the actual data, also called again as the forecast error. So, second, divide the deviation in its actual data, then make it absolute. Okay? So, no negative values. Get the summation of those absolute values, ito po yun, and multiply to 1 over N. Now, the N here is the number of periods. In our case, we have 12 months. 12 number of periods, meaning 1 over 12. Okay, so let's go to our Excel and let's compute, guys, for the MAPD rather, or the MAPE of our forecasting models na ginawa before. Okay, so here we are on our mean absolute percent deviation or the MAPD template on our Excel. So, tulad sa moving average, we have here the the template or the template na naka-month, actual, forecast, and also with other other forecasting models. Now, since yung data po na kakailanganin natin dito is just the same on our MAD or the mean absolute deviation, let's just copy yung data from the month, actual, and the forecast. Yung sa deviation or forecast error, dito na nagkakaiba. Dahil dito, if you check the formula, guys, meron po tayong over A sa loob ng absolute value before siyang i-summation. So, meaning, yung ating fourth column per forecasting model magiging blanco dahil ito yung i-compute natin for now. Okay, so kopyahin natin isa-isa. Moving average, copy and paste the data na meron tayo. Weighted moving average, copy and paste. Okay, exponential smoothing, copy and paste. Next, we have, we have exponential smoothing with trend, copy, month forecast, and paste. Now, pagdating po sa ating trend projection, dahil kakailanganin din natin ng mga actual dito, di ba nga ang formula A minus F minus over A, meaning to say, ito po is hindi rin natin sila magagawan ng ating map D or ng MAPE because of their data na walang actual values na given. So, yung apat pa rin sa taas na nagagawa natin. So, let's start. Let's try to compute for the map D nitong mga forecasting models na ginawa natin before. Now, for the deviation, since sabi ng formula is absolute value ng A minus F over A, meaning to say, absolute value tayo dito. Oops. Nasaan ako? Naulit. Naulit yung paper. Yung labels. So, delete natin ito. Delete. Okay. Ayun. So, dito, mag-insert na lang tayo para may space sila ng isa. Insert. Down. At sumobra. So, delete tayo ng isa naman. Para magpantay. Guys, importante, if you're doing Excel, tulad po neto, importante at least somehow organized kayo para sa data ninyo. Kasi kapag hindi organized, nakakahilo actually. Hindi kayo mismo, nahihilo na kayo sa computations, tapos hindi pa organized yung tables, yung numbers ninyo. Dagdag po kasi yun sa stress if you are into numbers. If you are, maghapon, your job is into numbers, forecasting like this one, nakakahilo yun. So, be organized even that is just an Excel, Excel file. That's like this. Okay? So, for the deviation po, ayan, lagyan mo natin sila ng mga words. Sorry, medyo OC ako. And, dapat lang, because we are all IEs. So, ayan, deviation. Again, for the formula niya, ito po siya, absolute value, ABS, ng ating forecast minus actual, close parenthesis, divided by our actual, and close the formula. So, we have 0.17. Actually, ito na po yung nakuha natin. Ayun na po yun. Let's just drag up to December. Then, summation na natin. Summation natin sila. Okay, so get the sum of this. And this is now the sum, 1.34. One thing na kailangan natin gawin ngayon is to multiply to 1 over n. Or basically, 1.34 divided by n. Now, ilan po yung n natin? We have here April to December. Actually, we can count this. I hope you are all familiar with the formula ng Excel na count. So, just use the formula count and highlight mo yung mga numbers mo and automatically bibilangin mo yan ni Excel. So, equals count and ayun, lumabas is 9. Meaning, 1.34 over 9. Or basically, dito po natin idiretso tulad ng ginawa natin sa ating MAD or mean absolute deviation, nasa taas yung sagot. So, we have here the sum all over count. Kung gusto nyo idiretso. Count, ilan ba ito? Then, that is 9. to 1.34 over 9, that is 14.85. Naka-ano po ito, no? Times 100. In my case, naka-preset na yung mga cells ko na naka-on siya. Automatic gagawin yung percentage. So, meaning to say, our moving average has 14.85% mean absolute percent deviation as one of our forecast accuracy. So, check naman natin kung ano naman yung resulta ng ating weighted moving average MAPD. Okay, so equals absolute value po ulit. And the difference, always check sa formula, no? Actual minus the forecast, or kahit forecast minus actual, kasi nga naka-absolute, no effect naman siya, divided by the actual. Ito yung hindi dapat mabago, no? Baka i-divide nyo sa forecast, may effect na po yun. So, divide actual ito. Okay, and that's it. Copy and paste up to the center. And of course, let's have the summation. Copy natin itong formula dyan. Ayun. So, summation is 1.25. Now, this summation divided by kung ilan man sila. So, let's use the Excel function count. That is actually 9. Answer is 13.90%. Mas mababa na naman ang ating weighted moving average. Now, let's see kung ganun din ba sa exponential smoothing. Mas mababa or baka mataas. Check natin. So, we have absolute value here. So, our absolute value ng ating actual minus forecast. So, we have here forecast over actual. Okay. Copy. And paste. Okay. Now, guys, if we wanted to have this sum, di ba sinasum natin siya? Kanina kasi sa mean absolute deviation, average po yung kinukuha natin. That's why hindi natin sinasama yung mga deviation na equivalent to 0 dahil it can have an effect. Diba? Statistically speaking, sabi natin, if may additional data tayo tapos 0 siya, dadagdag siya eh. No? Madadagdagan yung denominator pero yung numerator hindi nadagdagan. So meaning, may effect siya sa average. And since we are just having here a sum, no, addition lang ito, isama mo or not, no effect yung 0. So, in our case, isama na natin para hindi siya magtampo. So, sum, 1.98. And, for the formula, ito na yun, no? 1.98 over n na tayo, or over, kung ilan na sila, 12 yan eh. So, ito, okay, over count, and highlight natin, ito, kung ilan man yan, that is 12. So, meaning, our exponential smoothing have 16.48% MAPD, and siya yung highest so far. Now, for the exponential smoothing with trend, same ng formula. So, absolute value of the actual minus forecast, itong AH5, divided by our actual. Okay, copy and paste up to the end or up to the December. And of course, get the sum. Copy na lang natin ito. Paste. And this one, divided by the count. Kung ilan man ito. And this is actually 12. Okay, so 17.88. Now, let's see kung ano po yung ating forecasting model na merong pinakamaliit na MAPD. Moving average, we have 14.85%. Weighted moving average, we have 13.90%. Exponential smoothing, 16.48% MAPD, and exponential smoothing with trend, 17.88% MAPD. Ibig kong sabihin, what is the best forecasting model if this is our data? Basically, that is weighted moving average. So, the most accurate forecasting model here is weighted, lagay natin, no? Weighted moving, parehong weighted, no? MAP tsaka MAD tsaka MAPD. So, weighted moving average with MAPD equals to 13.90%. So, siya yung pinaka-okay na forecasting if our data is less than 1. Sa Del Monte, okay? So, wag pong kakalimutan guys when it comes to MAD and the MAPD, important note, sasabihin ko at papaalala ko ulit, the answer to the question which method is more or most accurate to use among forecasting methods depends on their respective MAD or map D values. So the lower the MAD or map D, the higher the accuracy and vice versa. No, wag pong kakalimutan, lumalabas ito sa CIE examination. Okay? So that ends our forecast accuracy topic. And that also ends our long topic regarding forecasting. No, so forecast accuracy, wag po kakalimutan, we have the mean absolute deviation or the MAD, and then second, we have the mean absolute percent deviation or the MAP-D. I hope you guys learned something from this discussion. Thank you for being with me on this topic. Keep safe always. See you on our next discussion. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.